Now, I'm sure most Skyblock players will agree, we all want the best for the game. We want the game to progress, be developed, just for a better game for us to play. Day by day, the more you play the game, the more you get addicted, and the more you get attached. However, we all recognise certain aspects of the game that aren't the best, don't run smoothly, could be improved. Majority of the time in Skyblock, improvements are implemented via updates. Updates potentially as little as increasing tax on the auction house, or on the other hand, as big as introducing a whole new realm within Skyblock. Or potentially updates even as annoying as logging onto Skyblock and having a yellow prefix next to your name. Do you remember a few months ago when all the rave was about Skyblock 1.0 and the foraging update and so on? Well, honestly, looking back over this thread, there's features that look really cool that, to be honest, I've missed, and I don't know if anybody else had missed too. Anyway, considering we're a few months on after this thread has been released, it'll be interesting to see what everybody thinks. Before we go any further, if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS. It gets yourself 5% off. First of all, something that can't be avoided, and that's the foraging update. Yeah, we've been expecting a foraging update for over 2 years. At this point, it's not a big deal. It's not been updated and foraging is boring. There's not really much to it, it's very simple, and to be honest, there's a massive opportunity to make this a pretty interesting skill, something that has a lot of progression involved. Obviously, we don't have that at the moment. Anyway, the main talking point surrounding the foraging update is the fact that they proposed that the foraging island, or the new foraging island that they're working on, would be in Minecraft version 1.19. Now, I'm sure majority of people who play on Hypixel itself play on 1.8.9 because that's the version of Minecraft that's recommended for Hypixel, that's the one that works best. The reason for this proposal is so that they can basically add more features into the game and make it better. Now, understandably, people were opposed to this change. Obviously, it's not been implemented, but a lot of people had a lot of questions, were confused, didn't really know how it was going to work. And to this day, we still don't really have too much more information. Something you should do is subscribe to the channel, become part of the 25%, there's no reason not to. Also, you should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of every single video. Now, in the thread, the Abyss is mentioned. The concept of this update would be some sort of water-related island in the shape of just a massive circle which is hollow. However, they basically go on to say that they scrapped this idea because a lot of the features they wanted to implement weren't compatible with versions earlier than like 1.19 or maybe even 1.16. Of course, features like swimming just aren't a thing in 1.8 Minecraft, you just sort of bob through the water. You know, not ideal. And for a predominantly water-based island, it wouldn't make sense to implement this update on 1.8. Now, we don't have a massive insight into the foraging island, although we are basically treated to these two images that they have from, I guess, in the testing. Obviously, this is far, far, far away from being finished, but as you can see, it looks like the nether wood is used in these fences here. I can't exactly even remember what it's called. It's been so long since I've not played Skyblock and played other, versions of regular Minecraft. And this, of course, would make you think that this is our later version of Minecraft. Now, because we have so little to go off, you have to speculate. Here's my take on the situation. So, what Hypixel propose is that, essentially, when you go to the foraging island, you have to change versions of Minecraft. And if that goes smoothly, they may think about basically changing the whole of Hypixel Skyblock over to a later version. And just for testing's sake, that's going to be really, really strange and weird and inconvenient to actually change versions of Minecraft every time you want to forage. Also, Skyblock has already seen a lot of improvisation. Take, for example, the Dwarven Mines. Mithril, for example. Mithril is made up of wool, concrete, prismarine blocks, and more wool. But of course, when you mine it, you don't get wool or concrete, you get mithril. For example, titanium. Basically using player heads as the actual items. And the block itself is polished diorite, I think? Even in the crystal hollows, when you mine gemstones, you're literally mining glass. That is the bottom line. So sure, if they introduce new wood or a new tree, it would be really cool to maybe have something from, like a later version of Minecraft. Obviously, there's lots of more trees that they've introduced. But if they improvise with mining, why can't they just improvise with different made-up trees with different random blocks that are already available to them? Of course, moving to 1.19 would essentially be future-proofing the game and allowing for basically a better game in the future. However, I'm not sure if foraging is realistically the update to do it for. As mentioned later on in the thread, it doesn't look like we can expect this anytime soon. As of May this year, they were still in the early stages of development, saying they can't provide an ETA. Yeah, it's kind of saddening really. The fact that we've seen updates roll out before it, granted fair enough, the Rift was pretty much in the same situation, having been basically promised 2.5 years ago. It's just really, really annoying if I'm being honest, because foraging is absolutely dead. Foraging is so dead. There's one axe. I mean, maybe if you count the jungle axe, there's 2 axes. One is just a direct upgrade from the other one. There's no armor sets. There's 2 or 3 pets. And that's it. That is literally it. And that has been like that for so long. And it's just so annoying. Yeah, if you want to go and get to foraging 50, I'm all for a grind, but it's not a grind, it's torture. It's safe to say that the current progression for foraging is absolutely abysmal and by far the worst aspect of the game, but it's really annoying. It really is. Anyway, more on this thread itself. There's this little sort of animation here that shows walking up to Jerry and having like what I can only really compare to as like a Pokemon style animation that comes across the bottom of the screen with what Jerry is saying. Pretty cool actually. Like I said, it does remind me of something like Pokemon on Nintendo DS, but that's besides the point. I feel like finishing touches to the game like this just make the game look so much cleaner and just give it that premium feel. Also, potential new Skyblock menus like here. Instead of just pressing escape and seeing a regular Minecraft menu, it's an actual Hypixel customized menu. Once again, completely cosmetic, but it looks cool. We scroll down further. More layouts for menus. I mean, this would be really cool. It really would be. I mean, don't get me wrong, the current Skyblock menu is absolutely fine. It does what it needs to do. It's clear, it's specific, it's easy to navigate, and it does the job. But it still looks like regular Minecraft in a sense. The actual customized Skyblock menu would be really cool. I mean, it would essentially have all the same information that you need, but just have that nice touch, a little bit of specificity towards Skyblock. An actual potential resource pack designed by Hypixel is also mentioned. I don't really think this is necessary, if I'm being completely honest, considering if you want a resource pack, you can just download one. However, it would be cool, considering maybe it's something that loads up automatically when you start Skyblock. It really is a nice idea. And honestly, regarding the foraging update, the proof is right here. They show basically the results in the form of a bar chart of a poll that they held. This was probably quite a while ago at this point, but I'm pretty sure the results would be pretty unanimous at this point. Basically showing that majority of people strongly dislike the gameplay when it comes to foraging, not really anything else coming close to it. Yeah. Further in depth in terms of the foraging update design details, they allude to new trees with their own collections, which would make sense. A new axe mechanic called Sweep, which controls how many logs an axe can break. Surely that's already predetermined though with the tree capitator or the jungle axe. I could be wrong. Maybe it is a thing, but it just isn't visible. It then basically says that some trees won't be as affected as much as others by the tree capitator or the jungle axe, which is interesting, which surely means that there'll be something else in its place. Hopefully. Various new creatures may roam the island. Most of them peaceful, but some hostile. That's cool. Various new creatures. There aren't any. So that would be a good start. And we also see that something similar to a Heart of the Mountain tree system would basically be implemented into foraging, which is really cool and something that needs to be done. The final line is interesting. You won't have to worry about other players cutting trees before you do, and in fact you might prefer cutting trees with other players. To me that sounds like you might have to work together with other people to cut trees, whether that is, well, there could be a number of different reasons why. Maybe the tree's so big you have to work together to cut it down. I have no idea. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of this thread? I've talked about it months ago when it was basically first released and first rumoured, and the new images regarding the new foraging update were actually released. However, since then, we've not really had anything else at all, and I think it would be interesting to get people's take on the whole situation now. Also, what do you think of the new proposed Skyblock menus? I think they look pretty cool, but let me know in the comments. Anyway, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.